Appreciate the opportunity to be here this morning, and want to thank you for your continued support for us on a monthly basis as a church, but also to the Mission Committee for helping us with this trip specifically. You helped support for myself and my wife Peggy and Trina to go over to Northern Ireland and spend time ministering to the individuals over there, having some fellowship ourselves, and then doing a little bit of relaxing time near the end of our trip. So I just want to give you a couple of slides and picture highlights of individuals and places where we went to while we were there. If you do use Facebook, if you go on there to my page or to Trina's page, Trina became our resident photographer and chronicler of our journey. So you can see a lot more pictures there. But this is as we were leaving, we thank Dave Holmack and Pastor Dave for getting us to and from the airport in Philadelphia. Our first time traveling out of there was quite nice. But as you can see there, it says it's a big world out there, and we can attest to that. This is the house that Starris purchased in 2015. We stayed there for the week that we were in Northern Ireland. Next, we have this is actually a church that was built in memory of St. Patrick. If you look on the far left, you'll see Woody and Elaine Price. Woody and Elaine are the connection of Starris to America. To their side, you see my wife Peggy. In the back with the bright silver hair is Margie. You might recognize her. She sings with us on occasion in our group. Trina next to her, and then Margie's husband, Rock, on the other side. So Margie and Rock traveled from West Virginia and met us over there, and the five of us spent our week together. So they are also on our board of directors. So as you pray for us, as Starris, as a ministry, you're praying for them too, as they help lead the work that we do out in West Virginia. After that, these are some of the workers that we had fellowship with on Saturday morning. Kim, in the very front, she works in Belfast in the Shankill area. Behind her is Roy and Pamela's daughter, Margaret, and behind her is her husband, Ricky. Just some faces and people to pray for. There we have Jillian on your far right, and she is the treasurer of Starris in the UK, and then Roy Brown, who I mentioned, who's been over here. Woody sitting in the leather chair, he was leading the meeting that morning, and Peggy, my wife. Then we have Gordon. Gordon works in the Isle of Man, which is a small island between Ireland and England, and he's been working there for a number of years. And Gordon was married 3 years ago to Tamar, and she's from South Africa. Next to them is George McGregor. But George has been a great friend to Justin and to many of us in Starris, is Trina, and then Rock and Margie next to them. So that was our Saturday. We spent the morning praying and fasting as a staff members together. Saturday afternoon, we went to a carol service, and then I had an opportunity to speak. And we spoke about John the Baptist, and I shared, and a lot of folks said they hadn't really thought about it when John the Baptist was languishing in prison. He sent messengers back to actually ask Jesus, is he the one? Is he the expected one, or should we look for someone else? And oftentimes this time of year, a lot of people aren't so happy and glad knowing Jesus is coming because they're wondering when he's going to help them. They're not quite yet seeing the help that he's offering. So we want to encourage them that he is there to help them the same way that he's helped us as well. Sunday morning, I was able to preach at Bethesda Fellowship, which is the church of Tom Eakins. Many of you here have met before. He's unable to travel because of health issues. But for many, many years, Tom traveled over to America, planted the ministry of Starris. Woody and Elaine were the connection. Tom was really the missionary coming. He preached here on many Sundays. I had the privilege of speaking at his church that morning, talking about being ambassadors for Christ. I've shared that here before, just about how we see people. Do we see them as Christ sees them? We were able on Monday, Trina, Peggy, and I, to go see Tom. He's in the hospital. He came home while we were there, but you can pray for Tom. He's just a very close to our hearts. I would call him my spiritual father. Our ministry is small. We don't reach loads of people. We don't reach large masses of people. But for the ones that we do meet and the ones you pray for that we can meet with and help support us in, it is very, very meaningful to them. There are no little people. Everyone matters. The stables, on the last piece of ministry work was on a Wednesday evening. This is actually a horse stables that was built in the 1800s. It was refurbished into a conference center and a retreat center and used quite a lot from many different organizations. So this is Brendan Jones. He is the owner of the stables, and next to Peggy and Trina, Rock and Margie, and myself. So we spoke about no little people, reminding the folks there that their value to God is just the same as anybody's value. It sounds like simple words, but really very important words that so many folks don't realize that they matter, they're important. So we just thank you again for supporting us on a monthly basis to do the work we are able to do here, but we thank you as well and the Mission Committee for helping us to be able to make this trip over.
I wanted to take a few moments to also thank you. Trina and I wanted you to know that because of you, we were able to go. John and I have been doing it for 20 plus years now, but White Marsh has always been so supportive of us, and we want you to know how much we appreciate your help and your love and your prayers. It's nice to be able to go over to Northern Ireland. Yeah, it's fun to go to Ireland, but what I gained from it is the fellowship with our other workers in the UK. Trina is now our volunteer worker for women and families. And so, again, just thank you so much for all you do for us. It doesn't go unnoticed and unappreciated. Thank you.